Hello friends, my name is Emile and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 58 and in today's episode we're carrying on with some more one-make races in the East City. And we are still at Toyota for today's series of races, which is going to be the Altezza Cup. For that, of course, we need a Toyota Altezza, or do we? I'm going to be using the Lexus IS200 because I'm alternative and different, and why not? Yeah, let's go for the blue, sure. So there we go, it costs a ridiculous amount of money. This is of course Black Panther's car, which most of you probably recognise it as. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to go and upgrade this thing and I'll see you in a second. So there we go, that is our Lexus IS200 upgraded to about 400 brake horsepower. So yeah, pretty powerful. Anyways, let's get into the first race, which is for normal style vehicles on a random course. Okay, our first race with our Lexus slash Toyota thing heads to Tahiti Road. Yeah, I know, we did this track a couple of episodes ago, but it's Tahiti goddamn road, people. I mean, how could you not get a better track than Tahiti Road? Anyways, I'd be kind of curious to see if anyone else bought a Lexus IS200 along to this. So the Toyota Altezza and the Lexus IS200, basically the same cars. I don't know if they were both sold in Japan. I know America got the IS, well, actually to be fair, I think America got the IS300. Oh god. Well, that's what happens when you try and thrash a 400 horsepower Lexus through a corner flat out, apparently. To be fair, I was tempted to back out on the Lexus just because I could have used that yellow colour, which is a very, very nice yellow. It's the yellow I used on the MR2, I believe, but hey, I decided to go with this instead. So yeah, that's apparently what happens when you full throttle a Lexus. Other than that though, it's a very, very nice handling vehicle this. But yeah, anyways, going back to my point, I'm fairly certain Europe only got the IS200. I think America got the IS300, which was a 3-litre engine and it had quite a bit more power than the IS200, and we got the IS200. This was essentially, back in the day, a rival for the BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C180 compressor, stuff like that. And to be honest with you, the Lexus, it never really caught on, unfortunately, which is a shame, because I think this is actually a fantastic vehicle. You know, provided it isn't in like some really boring businessman colour like a silver or something, I think this is a fantastic looking car. It looks great, it looks better than any BMW 3 Series. You'll probably find this out at some point. I'm not a huge fan of the BMW 3 Series. It's just not a particularly interesting car for me. Same with, you know, most Audis. I'm not a fan of most Audis. I'm not a fan of most BMWs. Not a fan of most Mercedes. But the Lexuses, I quite like them. Admittedly, I think the IS definitely peaked in its first generation. Second gen car isn't too bad, the third gen is weird, very, very odd looking car indeed, but there you go. Anyways, yeah, there were a few, in fact there was 4 IS200s in this and only 2 proper Altezzas, so I guess the game kind of expects both, I don't know. Anyways, we get first place, we get 5,000 credits, and I will see you in a second for racing modification time. Okay, it's time to race modify our Lexus Toyota thing. So let's go ahead back to the tuning shop, let's go ahead to racing modify, and unlike the Altezza, which I believe has a number of racing mods, this only has one, but I kind of like it, it looks kind of cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and purchase that, and let's get back onto the racing menus, because we've got another race to do. We've got to do the racing style race, and that of course goes to a random course. Okay, so we have headed to a midfield raceway for our next race. This is definitely the episode where I get all of the good tracks, and as you can see there is another IS200 There's also a couple of the Altezzas. As you can see, they can have kind of cool racing mods. They have the ones with the exhaust sticking out the back. There's many different ones of them. I'm not sure. I believe it just depends on which model you go for. There's quite a few models of Altezza. There's 3 IS200s in here. Also, if someone could sort of quote me on whether, like, sort of which versions of these games have the IS200 and which ones don't. Now, the European version has the IS200. I'm highly assuming that the American version also has the IS200. I would expect it to, considering it's Lexus. And Japan, I wouldn't be too sure. From what I know, the IS200 is a bit of a weird car. It only really pops up in a few versions of the game, so I'd be interested to see sort of which versions omit the Lexus IS200. Again, like, there's no real reason for this car to be in this game. It's just a rebadged Toyota Altezza. I could have used the Altezza today, and, you know, it would have been no different, but still, I decided to go with the Lexus because it's a little bit more interesting to me. But yeah, I do like the IS200. Would I own an IS200? Maybe. The problem, one of the issues the IS200 had, and it's sort of starting to become an issue for the early Model 3 series, you know, the E46 and so on, is that these vehicles are now very much embraced by tuner bro culture, which means finding a stock one of these is sort of getting harder and harder every day. Don't get me wrong, because it's a Lexus, you will, similar to the way BMW works, you'll always be able to find stock IS200s, but, you know, they're starting to be driven harder and harder, and there's people who are modifying them. And to be honest with you, I don't really know why you'd want to modify an IS200. I mean, it's a pretty great looking car stock. You know, I can understand a little bit, you know, sort of like some body skirting wouldn't go amiss on this particular car, but as far as like racing one of these things out, yeah, I wouldn't be so on board for that. I believe this car is this car in Underground 2? I'm fairly certain this is a thing that's in Underground 2, unless it's only in the North American version. I know it's in Need for Speed Most Wanted. We had a raced out one in that, which actually didn't look terribly bad. But anyways, enough about that. We won, that's the important part, and apparently the IS200s didn't fare too well, and the 280Z, which is that one, didn't fare too well either. So there you go. Anyways, that is it for that. We get first place, of course we do, and we get 7,000 credits, because of course we do. And I will see you in a second, because of course I will. Okay, so that is the Altezza Cup finished. So in the next episode we're going to head to our final race for Toyota, which is going to be the Yaris Trophy. So join me for that. Anyways friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been the Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.